Close your eyes for a moment. What you just heard was not composed by a musician. It was not made in a studio. It is radio waves, electromagnetic signals captured by the Cassini spacecraft as it passed through Saturn's magnetosphere. Scientists converted them into sound. Saturn is screaming, and we almost missed it because from a distance it looks like the most peaceful thing in the solar system. Pale gold, ringed, serene, like a painting hung in the dark. But that is a lie. One of the most beautiful lies in the universe. For 400 years this planet has seduced us. Galileo first spotted it in 1610 through a telescope so primitive he thought Saturn had ears. He wrote to a colleague, "I have observed the highest planet to be triple-bodied." He was confused. He was stunned. He couldn't explain what he was seeing. And honestly, neither can we. Not fully. When Voyager 1 flew past Saturn in 1980, scientists wept. The images that came back, that impossible halo of rings, the way light scattered through ice crystals into colour, were described as the most beautiful photographs ever taken by a machine. From Earth, even through a backyard telescope on a cold night, Saturn stops you. You say, "That can't be real. It looks computer-generated. Too perfect. Too cinematic." That is the lie. Look closer. Saturn is not calm. It is a machine. The planet has a volume 764 times that of Earth. If you hollowed it out, you could pour in roughly 900 Earths and still have room. It is the second largest object in this solar system, and it spins. Fast. Violently fast. One Saturnian day lasts only 10.5 hours. That is how quickly this colossus rotates. And that rotation does something grotesque. It flattens the planet. Saturn bulges so severely at the equator from centrifugal force that the difference between its polar and equatorial diameters is nearly 12,000 kilometers. It is not a sphere. It is a pumpkin. A pumpkin the size of a small god, spinning in the dark. The winds on Saturn travel at 1,800 kilometers per hour. That is 5 times the speed of the most powerful hurricane ever recorded on Earth. On Earth, a Category 5 hurricane devastates coastlines, collapses buildings, and kills hundreds. On Saturn, that wind speed is background noise. It is the baseline. The quiet days. There are no quiet days on Saturn. At the North Pole sits a hexagonal storm, a 6-sided vortex of cloud and lightning, so geometrically precise it looks artificial. Each side of that hexagon is longer than the diameter of Earth. It has existed for decades, possibly centuries, and no one is entirely certain why geometry, why a hexagon specifically, forms there instead of a circle. We built supercomputers to model it. They produced hexagons too, but they cannot tell us why. Now, the rings. You have seen them. You think you know them. You do not. From a photograph, they look solid. They look like halos of crystal, like something a jeweller carved. They are not. They are not solid at all. The rings are a blizzard. A frozen eternal blizzard of ice shards, rock fragments and dust. Ranging in size from microscopic grains to chunks the size of houses. They orbit Saturn at different speeds, constantly colliding, grinding against each other, cascading. The rings are alive with motion. They are churning right now, at this moment, as you watch this. And they are vanishing. Saturn's gravity and magnetic field are slowly pulling the rings downward, raining ring material onto the planet at a rate of tens of thousands of kilograms per second. The rings are disappearing. Given enough time, perhaps 100 million years, they will be gone entirely. We happen to live during the brief window in cosmic history when Saturn wears its rings. In geological terms, we arrive just in time. But here is the part that should unsettle you. The rings may have been born from something dying. The leading theory is that a moon, a world the size of our own moon, perhaps larger, drifted too close to Saturn. Saturn's tidal forces grabbed it, stretched it. The gravity differential between the near side and the far side became so extreme that the moon could not hold itself together. It tore. The crust separated from the core. The rock and ice spiraled outward and spread into rings. Saturn didn't just destroy a world, it wore it. That is what you are admiring when you look at those beautiful rings. Now we arrive at the thing that keeps planetary scientists awake, Titan. Saturn has 146 known moons. 146. That is not a solar system within a solar system, it is a dynasty. But Titan is the crown. Titan is larger than the planet Mercury. It has a thick nitrogen atmosphere, the only moon in the solar system with a substantial atmosphere. It has rivers, lakes, seas, rain. Not water rain. Methane rain. On Titan, liquid methane falls from orange clouds, blows across plains of water ice and collects into lakes so large they appear on maps. The Cassini probe found evidence of methane rivers carving valleys, geological processes mirroring what water does on Earth, just at minus 179 degrees Celsius, with a completely different chemistry. And here is what we cannot answer. There may be life there, not surface life. But beneath Titan's icy crust, models suggest a liquid water ocean could exist, warmed by tidal heating from Saturn's relentless gravity. A hidden ocean, dark, deep, and possibly warm enough to harbour something. We have not looked yet, not properly. A mission called Dragonfly, a rotorcraft lander, is scheduled to arrive at Titan in 2034. It will fly. It will sample the surface chemistry. It will look for the building blocks. But it hasn't arrived. So the question sits open, unanswered. In the dark, beneath an orange sky, in methane rain. We simply don't know. And that is what makes Saturn terrifying. Not the winds, not the rings, not even the screaming magnetosphere. It is the scale of our ignorance. We flew a spacecraft past this planet. We orbited it for 13 years. We crashed the Cassini probe into Saturn in 2017. Deliberately, beautifully, watching its final transmission cut off as it burned into the atmosphere it had spent a lifetime studying. We named storms. We mapped moons. We recorded radio waves and turned them into sound. And still, we do not know what fully drives that hexagonal storm. We do not know if the rings came from one moon or many. We do not know if something, in an ocean beneath Titan's frozen surface, is alive. Saturn hangs out there, 1.4 billion kilometers away at its closest, wearing a crown of shattered worlds, screaming electromagnetic static into the void, hiding oceans inside moons we haven't touched. It is not peaceful, it is patient. And patience, at that scale, is the most frightening thing of all. But the next time you see Saturn in the night sky, that steady, unhurried point of golden light, remember that you are looking at a machine that destroys moons and wears them. That births storms with perfect geometry, that holds, in its gravity, 146 worlds, and an ocean we have never touched, and a question we cannot answer. It looks peaceful from here. That's what makes it so dangerous.